So this is a story about my first ever client. So it was non-typical journey to start a company because I didn't just one day decide to start the company and just magically clients appeared on my doorstep. It was a gradual process because I was at a job and I was doing a 9 to 5. I was working in the events industry, and it was off the back of 2 failed businesses. I started with friends and I decided I wasn't going to get into business again. I was just going to stay in a job, get a salary, and I didn't want to get like the hassle of it all. I was done with it. But I found myself naturally getting into projects outside of the 9 to 5. One included a project with a company to do an app. So I did an app that was featured on Vice, but that's a story for another day. The other, which I class as my very first client, was an introduction off the back of that first project, and it was to do some sales and marketing work to help a company that was a software-based company out in Jordan to enter into the UK market. So I started working with them, and this was alongside my 9 to 5. So I was doing 6 to 9 calls for them and helping them to drum up business in the UK whilst then going to my normal job. And then after work, I was doing the app development work. So it was a lot for about 3 months. I was kind of working non-stop and decided that after speaking to myself that I needed to give freelance work I was doing with the sales and marketing gig a real shot. So I decided to quit my 9 to 5 and I started working with them. And it was a very difficult journey. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I didn't go on and make them loads of money. It was the opposite, in fact. It was very hard, and we was up against some major competitors that own 97% of the market. But what they gave me was the opportunity to really experiment and do my own thing, which I'd never been able to do before. I had a small budget, but I was able to test Facebook ads. I was able to test out different approaches on LinkedIn, and they were essentially my first client. I then formed INONDA as a company, and because things weren't going great with them, I was asked to reduce the hours. I was still working with them, but then that gave me more of an opportunity to build upon INONDA. And my very first client solo was me going to an event and meeting with an American dental company by the name of Premier USA, and they needed some help with exploring the UK market and Europe, and they felt that the best approach would be LinkedIn. So I used the skills that I'd learned not only in my first consultancy gig, but along the way going to different events, because I didn't get that opportunity straight away. I had to go to quite a few events to get that. I bumped into a mentor who helped me define exactly what kind of product and service I wanted to offer the market and package that up. So that's what led to the first ever client officially of INONDA, which was a dental company, and we helped them with some fair success. We worked with them for 2 to 3 years. So I'd class that they were seeing some results from the campaign that we were doing, and that led to a flurry of clients that I started to onboard as I got more used to the process and the way of acquiring clients. And that was a journey, it didn't take a few months, but it was like a year journey to start getting into a process. And that is the story of my first client or clients.